Okay. So when you twist and spin him around, you're saying that your knee is kind of twisting, right? And you're
Yeah,
thinking it's tweaking things.
yeah.
So
I have to make sure that when I do it, I don't let it. I don't leave it still. I have to let my foot spin with me.
which is move your feet to move your body. I know I say that all the time, and Gerry takes step flow with me, and I am so like step flow is that way that teaches people really how to move their feet to move their body. Shuffle dancing, like taking my shuffle dancing thing, is going to help you really connect to moving your feet, because the knee, let's just do a little body knowledge clinic, and then Katie, I'm coming right to you, hun. So prepare. Really quick, I'm going to just show you something real quick. The knee is a hinge joint. It has pretty much only two movements, extension and flexion. Okay? The shoulders and the hips are ball and socket joints. So they have extension and flexion just like the knee, but they also have internal rotation, external rotation, and they have I can never say this word, but it's like circumduction, and it just means that it goes all the way around. So it rotates. The knee is not meant to rotate. It has about 5 degrees of rotation, of twisting on both directions. We want to keep that 5 degrees, because if anything ever happens, like you step off of a curb and you roll an ankle, you have a little bit of rotation there to not hurt the knee, right? So you need it. But so many times people plant their feet and they move from the knee, right? So many times people stand up and they stand up in their knees instead of standing up with their pelvic floor and into posture, right? So my knees go back last when I'm standing up, but a lot of times people just push their knees back, and then they plant their feet and the knee rotates, and that's when you start to do that. So Paula, you're going to want to focus on really connecting to moving the feet to move the body in all of these classes, and they'll just start translating even more in your world.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's great. Katie, how are you doing, hon? So have you been shoveling a lot of snow? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I've been shoveling, trying to get my car unfrozen. My car was completely frozen, and I had to like move it for the plow guy. It was just the whole, it's just like just winter stuff.
And then
so it's a lot of like not
cold.
having a lot of exactly.
Yes, being like in constant seismos, right?
Yeah.
Like, so let's do another body knowledge clinic, since some of you both have like issues right here. In Paula's world, her son's holding on her neck, and even if you're trying not to, he is pulling you. So these muscles are being pulled. You shivering, Katie, you shoveling, right? You de-icing, those muscles are being pulled, but those muscles are stabilizer muscles. They don't want to be pulled on. They need to be flexible, don't get me wrong, but when you over pull on them, they almost tighten up and create this knot, because they're angry at you because they're being pulled and they don't want to be pulled. So what you want to do is reverse the pull. So let's go with Paula first. After you get Thomas transferred from one spot to the next, you need to reverse the pull for about 20 seconds. You need to stop doing anything. Do not go wash dishes. Do not do anything. For 20 seconds, you're going to reverse Thomas's pull on your body. Same thing with you, Katie. You have to go and shovel a sidewalk. Before you get inside, take your jacket off and reverse the pull, right? And I'll give you so many ways to reverse the pull. And the pull is when whatever you're doing and any of this area gets pulled on, you have to reverse it, because those muscles, I like to think of the body like how you would train certain dogs, right? There's certain dogs that have a job, and if you don't train them to do that job, like bird hunting dogs, if they don't get a bird hunt, they're wacko, right? They don't work in society and stuff. Like, I think of the muscles that way. Every muscle group has its job, and it needs to do the job it's meant for, and that's when the muscles are happy and some of these tight areas release, right? So the V muscles are stabilizer muscles. They're posture muscles. They don't want to be stretched. But what does daily life do to us? Stretches us. Yeah. So even if you're not shoveling snow, even if you're not holding yourself because you're so cold and covering and shivering, or because you're lifting a heavy load, you have to know that life is pulling on you, and those muscles don't love it. So you've got to give them you got to bring them home. You got to give them their job to do.
I have a question for you about that too, because one of the things I've long suspected is, like, I'm a side sleeper, and I have a recurring kind of pulled muscle in my back. Obviously that's not the right word, but like a tweaky muscle anyway. And I wonder if it's because, like, how I'm sleeping on my side, I feel like my shoulder blade is open and I'm asleep. So I'm unconscious. So I don't necessarily move like, consciously or controlled way. And sometimes I'll just wake up with a pulled muscle just from turning over. And I just recently took like the mattress topper off my bed because I've been having terrible like sciatica and like just my whole, I don't move as much when I have a mattress topper on when I'm sleeping. So I took it off, and actually it's been improving a little bit, but I have noticed already that my shoulder blades are more open on a harder mattress. So
I have 1,000 things to say, and I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm like super pumped. Okay. One, the fact that you're aware of this stuff, right? And that you're being curious. My job as a coach is to be like, check in with yourself every day. What does your right shoulder blade feel like? What does your left shoulder blade? Where is there an imbalance? Where is there this? Awareness leads to change. So the fact that, and movement reveals things, right, to us. So the fact that you're just investigating and saying my shoulder blades are held open all through the night, and I think that might be the problem. So let's go back to how life pulls on us. Your sleeping patterns pull on you. So then now another piece of the homework would be, as soon as you wake up, even if you're like can't open your eyes, you sit on the edge of your bed, put your feet on the ground, sit in posture, and you would do like tiny, just bringing those shoulder blades from this open position. Can you see how my shoulder blades are away from the spine?
Yeah, definitely.
But using those V muscles to draw them to the spine, sit tall, adjust, and then just do these little pulses. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, just because those muscles have been pulled throughout those 6-8 hours you're sleeping, you just want to be like, okay, you've done your job. Now you let me sleep for 6 hours. Now let me give you a treat. And think of that movement as a treat for them, right? Yeah. The other thing is sleep therapy is a huge thing for me. And I do a lot of my stuff on TikTok. So I don't know. I did a whole series on sleep therapy. I don't sleep with a pillow. As well, the body is meant to, it's called brainwashing, is meant to actually move every 90 minutes. That's why we actually are not supposed to just sleep in one position for 8 hours. The body is actually, and the brain is actually meant to almost wake up every 90 minutes and almost change position, but subconsciously. Like, you don't wake up and be like, oh, I should switch. But I will tell you, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm on my belly, let's just say, I make the choice to flip on my back. Do I stay on my back? No, I'll probably wake up on my belly again, right? But at least I moved my body and specifically lay on my back. And I just sit there. And if I can't fall back to sleep, then I can change position. But I give myself a moment to realign my body, because sleeping positions hurt us. They do.
Well, I was going to say.
Let me tell you guys another thing that I want to just plant seeds. I'm just putting stuff out there. I have always told everyone that's ever been with me, don't write anything down. Don't try to capture everything. You'll capture what you need and what like speaks to you. It's called your vault. It goes into your vault and you use it when you need it. But I want to tell you, I still use the word stretching. I do. I taught yoga for too many years to ever get that out of my vocabulary. And in a way it is stretching. But when a muscle is angry, you actually don't want to stretch it, right? So when you wake up, that scapular rotation is not the first thing I want you to do. The first thing I want you to do, let me let Julie in really quick. The first thing I want you to think about is that a stretched muscle, a pulled muscle away from its home, away from the job it's meant to do, is angry. It's mad at you, okay? and you should know better kind of thing. That's what the muscle's thinking, right? So I'm going to now present in pain. What you want to do is, and also when you're presenting in pain, your nervous system increases. Okay. So then the pain just tenses even more. What you want to do is activate and engage sore muscles instead of stretch and continue to pull on sore muscles. So activate, engage, hold, work on posture elsewhere, the ribs, opening the chest. I mean, even being able to do this to your chest, doing a little bit of a release massage right here. Yeah, just pulling that skin away from the spine. All of a sudden, this part is doing its job because this part is meant to do this. It's not meant to do this. Right? So this is here, the back is doing its job. All of a sudden, the nervous system is calmer. And then, Katie, 8, 7, right? 6.
Growing.
Yep. And then get into the center and then stand up and go about your day and see how that works. Okay.
Yeah, I'll try that. Thanks.
Okay. Good job.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi, Gerry.
Hi, Donnell. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great.
Doing good.
A lot of good stuff there. I have had vast improvements in pretty much everything since I've started doing the AgeDEFY 4, 5, 6 times a week. It's that consistency, and something has has revealed itself to me, but to an extent now that I don't even want to talk about my hip, because my hip is no longer a problem. I'm trying to integrate that just back into my body and not have that as a separate entity. I mean, you talked a little bit about working out with an injury. And for me, what was really important is moving up to the point of pain and sometimes embracing it, sometimes giving it a kiss, sometimes having a little dance with it, but never move beyond the point of pain. Because if you move beyond the point of pain, your body is saying to you, how can I heal myself? You keep breaking me. But if you don't go up to the point of pain, your body will say, how can I get fixed if you never help me? So there's always this point where you have to just be gentle, but at the same time, think about what's going on. And for me, with the AgeDEFY exercises and the and working on the hip is almost. It's not going to be fixed, but it's not a problem for me anymore. I don't think about what I can or can't do. And the other thing that occurred to me was, and it's really starting to occur to me this week, when I'm working consistently now on AgeDEFY, I kind of think about, why am I doing it? Well, I'm doing it, like the reason the rest of us are doing it is because, we want to feel better, we want more energy, and it's an investment in our future. But what is occurring to me now is that to complete the circle, I'm now looking at my daily life to see what I can do to improve my AgeDEFY. And that brings that circle around. So whether it's nutrition, you were talking about sleep, I've said to myself, I don't carry a lot of weight, but I can feel there is a bit of extra weight there. So how am I going to get rid of that? Well, it's not going to be dieting. But I don't need 3,000 calories a day because I'm not a construction worker. So I've just brought down my intake a little bit. I eat kind of well. So these things are occurring to me now. But the AgeDEFY is the central focus point that I move around. And I'm trying to feed back into it. So it's making a huge difference to me.
I love all of this, and everything you're talking about is the art of Ue, right?